Alright guys, so as promised, here's the video on how to do the Unit 3 assessment that you completed last month. Now just keep in mind that it's not going to be in the same order as your particular assessment because I do have the computer mix up the problems so that they're in different order. So it'll be basically in the way that I decided to do the problems. Okay, so number one for mine is the log base 5 of 150. And again, I said I wanted a precise answer, no decimals, and you must show work or steps. All right, guys, a lot of you went to a lot of different things, but there's nothing else here, okay? The only thing I can do is I can split up this 150 into log base 5 of two things. One of them, which actually I can take the log base 5 of, and the other one which I can't. So in this case, this is going to be log base 5 of 25 times 6. Okay? Now, remember what that does. When I'm multiplying like this, that gives me log base 5 of 25 plus log base 5 of 6. Well, log base 5 of 25 is just plain old 2, so it's 2 plus log base 5 of 6. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's the answer. Okay? You can't go any further than that on this problem. Okay, so problem number 2 is this one. Log base 8 of 1/64 equals -2. And the question said to rewrite the logarithmic equation in exponential form. All right, guys, this is one where you really don't have to do any sort of work. I didn't ask for any sort of work. You just have to rewrite it correctly. So remember what I said. 8 to the power equals 1/64. And that's it. That's all you had to write, guys. That's all I was looking for on this particular problem. Okay, for problem number 3, I'm giving you a function and I'm giving you a value of x, and all you have to do is plug x in and figure out the function. So what I would have liked to have seen was f of 2.8 equals 125 times e to the 0.2 times 2.8. And then write your answer. But remember what it said. It did say round to 3 decimal places specifically. So if you rounded to something other than 3 decimal places, well, then I took a point or two off. And the answer to this question is 218.834. What you want to make sure you do is you do 0.2 times 2.8, save that in your calculator, then do e raised to that power, and then multiply it by 125. Other than that, guys, this was a giveaway problem, okay, as in giving away as many points as possible. Okay, so question number 4 was again another giveaway problem. This one I was really upset with so many of you because you've got to do your order of operations. I mean, most of you set it up right. I mean, you know that you have to put 200 in for t. So you had 2 times 1/2 times 200 over 1599. And order of operations says I have to take 1/2 to the 200 over 1599. I cannot do 2 times 1/2 and get 1. There were so many of you that did that. I was just like, what in the world are you thinking? You can't multiply before you do an exponent. You know better. Please take your time. You had plenty of time to do this stuff. Why rush it? So anyway, Q, and I did say round to the nearest hundredth, which is only 2 decimal places. You need to understand that. So some of you gave me 3 decimal places again, which I know most of the tests said 3 decimal places, but this one didn't. Okay? That's all I needed to see, guys. Q is 1.83. Please, please, please remember your order of operations. It wasn't the math that got you this time, guys. It was your order of operations. Okay, this was my way of testing your transformations, guys. See if you remember them. you've got to know these different transformations by now. We've gone over them in class. We've gone and it works for every single type of function. You're seeing now that it works for trigonometric functions too. So anyway, if I start out with 2 to the x and I end up with, and I say I want 2 to the x plus 2, what kind of transformation is that? Guys, this is with the x, so it's in the function. So this is just simply 2 units left. Because remember, in the function, it's backwards. I got so many answers for this. I got 2 units up. That one really bugged me. Got 2 units down. Don't understand that one. Got 2 units to the right. I got that it was a horizontal shrink, and I got a vertical stretch. I got all sorts of answers out of this. It's just 2 units left, guys. Okay, so with this one, this was the condensing the log. There's several steps that you need to take. First off, this 1/5. This 1/5 is a power. It is the 5th root. So that 5th root goes with the log base 7 of x and the log base 7 of 6. So you could rewrite that log base 7 of the 5th root of x, or x to the 1/5, plus the log base 7 of 6 to the 1/5 minus log base 7 of y. Now, let's combine these things. If I have a plus here, that means that I am multiplying. So these two turn into log base 7 of x times 6 to the 1/5 power, or x times 6 to the 1/5. Okay. Minus log base 7 of y. Now again, the order doesn't matter here with the x and the 6. I'm going to, when I rewrite it, I'm going to do 6x. So now I have log base 7 minus log base 7. That means divide. So that basically just brings me down to log base 7 of 6x, the whole thing to the 1/5 power. So many of you just gave me x to the 1/5, didn't indicate it was to the 6 also. That's why you lost points probably. And then it's divided by y. And there's your answer. With work shown. Amazing. You guys can do this. You could have also done the 5th root of 6x. That would have been acceptable as well. I did see some of this, 6 to the 1/5, x to the 1/5, and I gave you credit for that, but this is the best form, or putting it in the 5th root of 6x. Okay, and here's an expanding problem. And guys, when I say you must show your steps for full credit, I mean it. You can't just, leave things blank, okay? So show me your first step. Show me that you have the ln of x squared minus the ln of y. And then show me you brought down your 2 for ln of x minus ln of y. And guess what? That's it. All right, 2 steps should have taken you like 15 seconds. All right, so the next one, 2 to the 3x equals 128. Most of you did pretty well. What I needed to see was 2 to the 3x equals 2 to the 7th power. Some of you wrote down that it was 2 to the 6th power. You gotta just be more careful, guys. So then you have 3x equals 7. You can divide by 3, x equals 7/3. And that's it. That's it for that problem. Okay, another one where I asked for showing your steps to get full credit and no calculator allowed, and yet I still got people trying to give me some sort of decimal answer here and stuff like that. I just don't understand. Okay, first thing that I would do is I would rewrite this as log base 6 of 6 to the 1/2 power. Now I know that log base 6, or the next thing I would do would bring over the 1/2, log base 6 of 6. And then I would have 1/2 times 1, because log base 6 of 6 is 1, and that equals 1/2. I'll even take the time to write f of x. That's it. That's all I want. All right, guys, another one that, the main thing that you can get wrong here is rounding to 3 decimal places. Evaluate the function. F of x equals 1.5 to the x at x equals 3.6. So, f of 3.6 equals 1.5 to the 3.6 power. All right. So, what do? We take 1.5 and raise it to 3.6, and we end up with an answer of 4.305. That's it. Guys, we're halfway through the test. It's been 11 minutes. Okay, so here's one of the problems that takes a little bit of time. Not too much, but a little bit. I gave you 4 different interest rates and told you how often they are compounded, and then I asked you which gives the most interest. Well, some of you were just like, oh, I don't know P and I don't know T. And what did I tell you to do? I said pick a P and pick a T. Now, if you're intelligent about this, you would say, to make your life easier, P equals 1, T equals 1. And then you would just plug everything in. So for 10.6, you would have A equals 1 times 1 plus 0.106 over 1 raised to the 1 times 1. And then that happens to equal 1.06. I'm sorry, 1.106. And then you move on. A equals 1 times 1 plus 0.104 semi-annually is 2. And then this is 2 times 1. And that gives you 1.106704, if you want to get more technical. And then the third one, A equals 1 times 1 plus 0.102 divided by 4. So it's 4 to the first power. And that equals, according to my handy dandy calculator, 1.10596. Okay? And then last but not least, you have A equals 1 times e to the 0.10 times 1. And that equals 1.10517. So yeah, they're all close when you put in 1, but guess what? If you are careful and you show this is all you had to show me, guys. You said, oh, well, B gives me the most because 1.106704 is more than the other 3. So that's it for that problem. Okay, for the next one. We have 1/3 raised to the 6x minus 1 equals 27. Well, I'm going to leave the left alone for a minute and try to get 27 into a base of 1/3. So I've got 6x minus 1. Now 27 is 3 to the 3rd power. So if I want to do that, then if I want that base of 1/3, that's just simply 1 over 3 to the negative 3 power. Okay? So then I have the same base, so I can just say 6x minus 1 equals negative 3, add 1, 6x equals negative 2, divide by 6, x equals negative 26. Now, if you left it at this, I gave you credit for it, but come on, people. Negative 26 is the same thing as negative 1/3. Okay? So that's the best answer right there. Again, know your math. All right, so this one, again, this is the 3rd evaluative function at this particular point that I gave you. We had 300 times 1.005 raised to the 60th power. And I said round it to 3 decimal places. So you plug this stuff in, you get 404.655. And that's it. Don't know what else to say about that one. All right, so here's the longest problem on this test. Okay, and I gave you, I said round to the nearest tenth of an hour, and what are your two ordered pairs to start with? Yes, this one took some time to work through, but it's not like you can't do it. Okay, so we had 2.4 grams to 1.8 grams. It took them 74 hours to do that. All right, so what are our two starting points? Well, we had 0, comma 2.4, and then we had 74, comma 1.8. Remember the function y equals a b to the x. Okay, so let's plug everything in. Let's do the first one. We get 2.4 equals a times b to the 0 power. Well, again, what's anything to the 0 power? It's just 1. So 2.4 equals a. That's my first part. Now I go over again. Now I do my other one. Now I have 1.8 equals 2.4 b to the 74th power. Well, that gives me 1.8 over 2.4 equals b to the 74th, or b is equal to the 74th root of 1.8 divided by 2.4, which happens to be 0.75. Okay, so I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, so here are my values of a and b. Well, now we're asking for what is the half-life, so we need to solve for our t. Well, remember what our formula was again. Y equals a b to the x, and our x was our time. Okay, so we can fill this in. Y equals 2.4 times 0.75 to the 1/74th raised to the x power. Okay, now our y value is going to be half of our original value of 2.4, and we're going to divide by 2.4, so we're going to have a y value of 0.5, because it's a half-life, equals the 74th root of 0.75 to the x. Okay? Now, what do we do with this? Well, we take our natural log. So we have the natural log of 0.5 equals the natural log of the 74th root of 0.75 to the x. We'll bring our x down. Okay, so we now have the natural log of 0.5 divided by the natural log of the 74th root of 0.75 is equal to x. Okay, so if you take all of that, put it into your calculator properly, you get a value of x equals 178.297, and I said round it to the nearest tenth of an hour, so x is going to equal 178.3 hours. Okay guys, the longest problem on the test, that separated a lot of you from the A's and the B's. Straightforward. Okay, you've got to know what you're doing now. All right, yet another, can you plug a number in and find the function? All right, that's 20 points on this test, guys, where all you had to do is plug it in and figure it out. So f of negative 0.5 would be 4.3 e to the negative 1.3 times negative 0.5. Okay, so if you plug that into your calculator correctly, you should get 8.237 after you round it to the nearest to 3 decimal places as asked. Okay, this one, tons of different ways to do it. What I would suggest doing is log base 5 of 1/25. and saying, oh, well, that's log base 5 of 5 to the negative 2. Bring down my negative 2, so I have negative 2 log 5 base 5. So I have negative 2 times 1, or just simply negative 2. That's it. Okay, so another one, this is where you have to show your steps to full step to get credit. It's not that hard. You know, with the fact that this is neither one of them are indicated that it's log base 10, so I'm going to write log base 10. If I have two things to the same thing, so I know that's just 1 minus x now equals 10. Negative x equals 9. X equals negative 9. Guys, I think that was like 5 points I was trying to give you. All right, home stretch here. The natural log of e to the 4.5 minus the natural log of the square root of e. First off, let's get these powers to the same thing. Minus the natural log of e to the 1/2. Let's pull them down. Okay, so I have 4.5 times the natural log of e minus 0.5 times the natural log of e. The natural log of e is just 1, so now I have 4.5 minus 0.5, or just plain old 4. All right. Again, show work. There you go. And no calculator. Shouldn't need a calculator for this, guys. Okay, the next one. ln of x equals ln of e to the 4th, and I said specifically, leave your answer in terms of e. Do not give me a number for an answer, and yet several of you said, oh, well, I'm going to give you a number because I want to. Or, you know, the apps that you're using gave you a number for an answer and you just didn't pay any attention whatsoever. Guys, exponentiate. Make this e to the ln of x, make this e to the ln of e. E to the ln, that disappears, so it becomes x. E to the ln of e to the 4th is just e to the 4th. Oh, look. X equals e to the 4th. Done. One problem left. Last problem. You were asked to simplify this without a calculator and show all steps. Okay. Well, I have the same log. I have a minus here, so that means I have log base 4 of 28 divided by 7. Well, let's simplify that. So I now get log base 4 of 4. And what is log base 4 of 4? Well, that's just simply 1. All right, guys, that's it. That's the test. This video is about 23 minutes. You know, I stopped and did a couple things in between. It took me less than an hour to do it. I would have no problems giving you this 20-question test in class to do and give you 80 minutes to do it. And most of you should have been able to finish this. Okay, guys, you know, I give you 2.5 days to do something, and I still get people that don't do it at all. What's up with that? If I have to, I'm going to start going to live tests where you have 80 minutes to do it and you're done. Okay? Because this, to be honest with you, crap of having people not do it within 2.5 days is just ridiculous. Okay? It's just ridiculous. So those of you that have zeros on this and still haven't talked to me as to why you have a 0, what are you waiting for? Anyway, congratulations to my 2 students that got 100. Seeing how long it took to do the test, you know, hey, good job. That's all I got to say. Good job. Most of you did a really good job on this test, and I'm proud of you. Hopefully this helps you to see what you got wrong. All right, guys, have a good day.